dog of a man, Tom caught a glimpse of a grin coming his way. It was inevitable and couldn't be avoided. The fact that it covered Connor's entire face makes matters much worse. Connor Woods, a member of the guys, is the type of person you would want to use the back of your hand to wipe away a sneer from. Tom's early morning departure was suspicious. To evade the guys, he took the back way into the woods, flanked by tall pine hedges. Connor yanked on the leash of his Afghan hound and let the dog get a humiliatingly close sniff of him. "Tom, do you know if it makes a squeaking sound?" Tom wrapped his fist around his leash and snorted. "Tom, for the life of me, I can't tell if Rocky wants to smell this or eat it." Tom snorted again. Tom's worst nightmare was walking his Chihuahua, and his worst nightmare was running into his biggest opponent at the annual Elvis Hound Dog Festival. Tom's 120-pound bloodhound was well respected in the neighborhood. The previous 2 years, Duke had been crowned the best dog. He felt very loved by the people of the town. Less than Tom, who redirected the compliments to himself. To paraphrase, "Why do I have to walk it?" Tom barked an angry word at Mary. "Because your big, bad dog threw me off my feet." "And it's not as if Duke is too little to see either," she remarked. "That puppy, I'm sure you care for him more than I do." Tom was too afraid to speak up. Mary's doctor advised that she take it easy because of her sprained ankle. Tom imagined himself spending weeks dragging around a 2-pound rat on a string. That won't be happening. Tom was distracted after a week of walking Bobo and awkwardly answering questions from the guys regarding the name of the little dog. So when an opportunity presented itself, he seized it. He ran into a stranger from out of town in the park. Having lost her Chihuahua, she found herself pulled to Bobo, the dog she minded for a friend who was away on vacation. Tom explained to the lady that Mary was ill and needed to find a new home for the dog immediately. She was pleased to help him since she, too, believed in fate. "I notified the authorities," he told Mary. "A number of stolen animals have been reported recently. While I ran into the store, I tied her to a post outside. Upon my return, I found that she was no longer there." His story convinced Mary because he wrinkled his brow and shook briefly out of fear of her reaction, both of which he had practiced. She sobbed for a week, but she began to feel better after talking to her sister on the phone. Tom was convinced Mary believed his tall tale, so he brazenly strutted with his man's dog daily to find the guys and their hounds so he could tease them about Duke's impending victory at the festival. Sadly, he was blind to the fact that the hands of fate were stacked against him. Since Mary's sister Lily now worked at the local animal hospital, she was the one who checked the Chihuahua's microchip when its owner brought it in. After Lily checked the registration and learned how the woman got the puppy, she called Mary. Mary reached out to the lady, and she agreed with Mary that Tom's behavior was reprehensible. Immediately, she offered to give Bobo back. Mary, however, requested that the woman keep the dog in her possession while she planned her vengeance. Over the next 2 weeks, Tom kept Duke in top shape by giving him thorough grooming, feeding him only the finest cuts of meat, and taking him on vigorous daily walks. Mary, meantime, felt well enough to be up and about again. Before the festival, she asked Tom to allow her to take the stage with Duke in her stead. He refused at first, but she convinced him that she had gotten attached to Duke and that it was the least he could do after losing her dog. With some reluctance, he agreed that Mary would perform one last grooming on Duke backstage on the big day as he proudly watched the show with the rest of the community. Tom settled into a prime spot in the thick of the action at the Hound Dog Festival. When his rivals brought out their dogs, he would shove his neighbors and make jokes, and he would specifically boo when Connor Woods brought out his dog, Rocky. Since Tom was the champion before, he insisted that Duke be saved for last. After everyone else had left the stage, Tom led a chant, "Duke, Duke, Duke," to get Duke's attention. The onlookers noticed his chest heave of self-satisfaction. And then it occurred. Elvis Presley's Hound Dog rendition blared around the stadium. With leash in hand, Mary stepped out from the shadows, and Duke walked right out. His pink silk outfit was finished with white lace around the collar and cuffs. Pink, frilly stockings covered his paws. A sweet little white bonnet was tied with a ribbon under his chin. A harness attached to his rear pulled a miniature cart adorned with brightly colored paper flowers. Bobo was sitting quietly on a red velvet cushion, staring blankly in front of her. Scarlet ribbons adorned her ears. As Mary escorted Duke across the stage, the audience erupted in laughter. Everyone in the guys section jumped to their feet, pointed at Tom, and yelled, "Duke, Duke, Duke." Tom's appearance matched the ribbons on Bobo's costume. Hissing like his hound, he bolted off the field as the crowd's roar and the sound of their laughing filled his ears. When Elvis passed away, Tom stopped entering Duke in the Elvis Hound Dog Festival. Although he now prefers to exercise with him before the guys get up in the morning, he still takes him out occasionally. On the other hand, Mary beams with pride as she walks Bobo. Many community residents have vivid memories of that day and the photographs that appeared in the local newspaper. Many people have taken a liking to Mary's dog. Even the festival organizer has asked if Bobo can be a mascot and lead the macho hounds at next year's festival,